So children, we have already learned about different parts of the computer. So before we proceed, come let's see and name them. What is this? Come on, tell me. Correct. This is monitor. Yes, yes, you are right. This is keyboard. And we have a mouse here with us. And this is the processor inside this CPU cabinet. Right? So come, we move ahead now. We are going to tell you about some input devices. So we start first that what is an input device? Any device that is used to provide data and instructions to the computer are called input devices. So whenever you work on computer, you have to give some instructions to the computer so that it could work for you, right? Now look at some of the very common input device. I hope you all have seen this keyboard attached to your computer, right? Yes? Show me your thumbs up quickly. Good. I'll tell you that keyboard is used for entering data to the computer that goes in the form of words, numbers, and symbols. So whenever you are writing on the computer, either you are using the keyboard or some other input device. So when you use keyboard, you have to type alphabets and make the words with it. You have to type numbers and sometimes, of course, special characters as well. Okay. Now we come to second input device, that is mouse. So mouse looks like this. Yes, and it is called input device used for pointing. So this is the input device which is used to point any object that comes on the screen. Suppose I am to point this object. So this object will be pointed with the help of the mouse when you are operating the computer, right? An arrow is like a pointer which comes on the screen, and this arrow is actually controlled with the help of the movement of mouse. Got it? Great. So we move further and come. We have another input device for you. What is it? Correct. Very nice. Everyone has seen this. This is a microphone. Basically, microphone is a device which is attached to the computer and it is used to give voice in the form of input to the computer. So whenever you have to record certain voice notes inside the computer, you require microphone as an input source. Got it? And joystick, yes, we know this. We all play games with joystick, right? So this is a very, very common input device which every child attached to the computer when you are playing games on it. Okay? So joystick is another source of input device. Why do you call it input device? Because you are inputting the instructions to the computer to operate your game. Okay? Hi, are you understanding it? He's also understanding it. Lovely. So it has a button which gives instruction to the computer and your game works very, very efficiently. And this one, scanner. You know, when you work on scanner, scanner always scans the pictures and text on your computer and it enables them to be stored for the future use. So whenever you have some data in the form of pictures, in the form of documents, and you want it to go inside the computer as it is, you simply scan it and it goes and stored inside the computer memory. And now moving ahead, we have a processing device. You have heard about processing device. What is a processing device? Right. CPU, central processing unit. You are rightly connecting it. So once you provide the raw input to the computer, it goes inside the computer memory, and then the second task is you have to process that, and then after processing, it converts into your desired output. So who is doing this work? That's another question that comes in our mind. Correct. So that is done by the central processing unit, that is CPU. And children, CPU is the brain of the computer. Like we think with our brain, CPU also thinks with it. That is, CPU works for thinking, for processing, for doing any logical work on the raw data to convert it into the final output. Understood? Great. So moving ahead, we take the next topic, that is output device. So when we studied about IPO in the previous lesson, you remember? Input, processing and output. So first we have learned about all the input units, correct? Then we talked about the CPU, and the third thing, that is output device, we are talking about it now. Perfect. So here we say that all the devices which are used to provide information after processing. Processing means doing work on that data. So after processing the data in the computer, we get the final output. So that is, whenever the processing is done, the output goes to the output device. Correct? Nod your head. Great. Now we are going to take different output devices. So the first output device, very common output device, which is attached to your computer, is a monitor. Monitor is a display screen. So this is basically a monitor on which you normally see the output on the screen. So on this monitor, your data comes here initially when the processing is done. And it could go on other units as well, but as per your requirement. Okay. So monitor is a display screen of your computer which looks like a TV screen, and it shows the result after doing processing on it. And it also shows whatever you are typing with the keyboard and whatever you are pointing with the help of mouse. So basically, the pointing work, the writing work, whatever you are typing in the computer, that first is displayed as an output on the computer memory, and also after processing, when you want the result, that also goes in the monitor. Okay. So moving further, we come to another very common output device. What is this? Could you read it? Correct. He's saying printer. Right. So printer is a device that produces the output in the permanent way. What do you mean by permanent way? So when you say permanent way, that means it is not going to clear off. So the output goes on the paper that could be stored for the future use. Correct? So the whatever comes on the screen is not permanent. You know, every time you scroll, the new screen comes. That's called the soft output. And this permanent output is called hard copy. Understood? So come on, show me your thumbs up quickly. Good. Now we come to another very important output device that's attached to your computer, and we call them speakers. So basically, speakers are the devices which produce the output in the form of voice. So like you were using microphones to give the input and the voice notes, here we are using these speakers, this is the speaker, they are attached to your computer, which give you output in the form of voice. Correct? And yes, we have headphones also. We normally use these headphones to enjoy the music. Am I right? Good. So you can listen to your music or any form of sound with the headphones without disturbing anyone. So that's the basic difference between the headphone and the speaker. When you put the speaker, the voice gets rotated all around, but headphones are just confined to your ears and only you are able to listen that sound. So both are specially output units for voice. Okay? Now we move further and it's the time for you to check what all you have learned so far. So come, you are going to write I for all input devices and O for all output devices. Clear? Come on, quickly, let's begin. What is this? Your friend says input device. Is he correct? Good. Here we write I. And speakers are, speak out. Yay, very good. This is output device. What about mouse? What do you think? Mouse is an input unit. And then your headphones, you are getting the voice to your ears. That is coming from the computer. Correct. So we call it output device. And printer, can you tell? Come on, quickly. Correct. It is also the output device for getting the output on the paper. And monitor also is the output unit. Okay. Any doubt? Please ask me quickly. Okay. Now we move ahead. And we are going to talk about another part of the computer that is called storage device. The first question arises, why do we require storage devices? See, some of the raw data is given to the computer, it gets processed, and finally we get output. But do you think this data could be required in the future so that the retyping, reloading, recopying work is not done? Yes. So for that, you require some storage device to be attached to the computer so that it could be retrieved, it could be read, it could be used any number of times, anywhere. Correct? So that are called storage devices. Now let's read. These are the part of computers that are used to store all important information and data. See, raw data could be stored in the computer memory. Processed information could also be stored in the computer memory so that we could extract it whenever we require it. Okay? So we call them storage devices. Okay? And we are going to learn about different storage devices here. So let's begin with the very important storage device that is permanently attached to your computer. What do you call it? Yes, it is hard disk. Hard disk is a permanent storage device attached to your every computer. Okay? And it could store large amount of data and it is a fixed part of your system unit. Okay? Though we also have one like hard disk which could be attached to your computer, but every computer contains a fixed hard disk inside every system. Correct? And then we come at CD and DVD. So these, like, look at the image. This is a CD and this was the hard disk. Okay? This is hard disk. So CD is this shape We could say sometimes it is CD. We are going to explore it further later. So CDs and DVDs are the storage devices which are round in shape, and they are used for storing anything like pictures, documents, music. So you could store everything, even movies inside it. Okay, and it could store data. Now your DVD, I'll just tell you very small difference between the CD and DVD. Like DVD can store more data in compared to CD. Okay, now we have another storage unit that's called USB flash drive. So it is very small and portable storage device which could store the data that can be copied to any computer through USB port. What does it mean? It is handy. It is portable. So suppose you have to carry some data from your home computer to your school computer. Now it's not possible to carry hard disk. And when you talk about CDs, they are not very easy to store data for a longer duration. So we can always trust the USB flash drive. It looks like this. Okay, sometimes we also call it pen drive. So it's written here, it's also called a pen drive. So very handy, portable, easy to carry, and very commonly used unit which can store your data to be carried from one place to another. Okay, I hope it is clear. Quickly show me your thumbs up. Great. So shall we move further? Okay. Now is the time for you to answer my questions. Come, let's begin. We are going to start with fill in the blanks. So as usual, we have a hint box here with us, and we are going to read the sentences and complete them. So dash is a storage device that is round in shape. So we have the options here: CPU, DVD, mouse, microphone. Come on, tell me which is used for storing the data that is round in shape. My learning friend says DVD. Is he correct? Good. So we write here DVD. CDs and DVDs are round in shape. Remember this. Next is dash is also known as brain of the computer. What is the brain of the computer? CPU, Central Processing Unit. Correct. We write here CPU. Dash helps you to input your voice to the computer. Microphone. Very nice. So we write here microphone. And dash is also called a pointing device. Oh, wonderful. You answered it. Mouse. Very intelligent. So I'm writing mouse here. Okay. Now time to check true and false. Here we go. Write T for true and F for false statements. Let's begin. A DVD can store less than CD. Is it true? You remember I told you? Yes. DVD always store more data in compared to CD. So this is a false statement. Okay? And hard disk is the input device. No. Hard disk is not an input device. What is it? Yes, it is a storage unit. It's a storage device. So hard disk is the input device of a computer is again a false statement. Come to the third one. A scanner helps us to scan pictures and other documents on the computer. Is it correct? You remember what scanner does? Yes, I could see your thumbs up. Very nice, it's true. And The CPU, that's the central processing unit, is the main processing device of the computer. Correct. That's also correct. So we write true here. And we come to the last one. A printer is a screen of a computer. Is printer a screen? You remember what is the role of the printer? Yes, monitor is the screen of the computer, rightly said. So printer is used to take the hard copies. Good going. So we say this is a false statement. Very nicely answered. Your efforts are appreciated. And now is the time to match column A and B. So come on, we have column A with certain names of the devices of the computer and the work done by them. So we quickly match it. Let's see what's the role of the headphone. Could you see? Headphones, when you put on your ears, you remember? Correct. Headphones are used to listen to the music without disturbing anyone. And what is DVD? DVD. Yes, correct. First option, you said rightly, A option matches with it. DVD stores more data than a CD. And then we come to joystick. Yes, we play with the joystick. Very nice. So what's the option? D. Okay, let me see what is written in D. It's used to play games on the computer. Very nice. Good going. Keep the spirit up. And printer prints all the result of your work on the sheet of the paper, and we could store it for the future use. So, correctly done, and this is your activity for the homework. I hope the concepts are clear. Is it? Good. And so, before we say goodbye, let's quickly recall what we have learned today in the class. A computer is made up of input, output, processing, and storage devices. So, what are the 4 devices we learned today? First one is input device. Second one, storage device, processing device, and output device. Okay? Good. And hard disk is a storage device which is fixed inside the computer system, and we also need certain other storage devices like pen drive, CD, DVD. All these are portable. Only the hard disk is the permanent storage device attached to the computer, and they are used to transfer files from one computer to another. Okay. Now what about keyboard and mouse? These are the very commonly used input devices which are used to give raw instructions to the computer and some data to the computer. And we enter most of our data to the computer with the input devices. Okay. And now we come to the final one, that is the output device. So very commonly used output device is monitor, and we could see all the work that we are doing on the computer on the monitor. And yes, there are several more output devices like printer attached to our computer. Okay, so did you enjoy the learning? We'll see soon later in the next session. Happy learning. Bye-bye.